All right, welcome to another week of Midlife OneUp, everybody. My name is Rob.
And I'm Matt.
And before we begin today's podcast, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button on the video. The like button actually does help us with the algorithm. It helps people find our videos easier. Also, subscribe. It's free, so, you know. And this week we're going to have some discussion on some new Gundam stuff. I think we touched on some of it for the last video, but this one we're going to go a little bit more into it. And Matt's going to bring up some stuff on Destiny and an SD Gundam game, which looks pretty promising. And then we're going to finish up with some stuff that we'll talk about after. All right. So let's see. First up, I wanted to talk about the new Gundam.
That's good looking.
Yeah, the new Gundam series, Mobile Suit Gundam GQX, because we can't pronounce the GQUUUUUX. So GQX, I don't know. So GQX is what I'm going with. This is the official trailer for that Gundam series. This series, the art style departs a lot from the typical art style in all Gundam series. For those of you who are weebos, like me and Matt a little bit, you know that the art style for Gundams tends to be more kind of like straight up traditional anime or manga art. But this art is a little bit of a mix between Evangelion for the actual Gundams themselves, but for the characters, it kind of looks like something you would see in some of those retro-looking animes that they came up with recently. So it's kind of a neat art style, more like
mash.
Yeah, it's kind of a mishmash, so it's actually pretty cool. And as you can see, this is what the new Gundam, the main protagonist Gundam, is going to look like in the series. It's a very big departure from like a traditional Gundam.
See the long legs like the Evangelion.
Yeah, definitely has long legs like the Avas did in Neon Genesis. As a comparison, I mean, kind of similar in like a ton of respects. Not as smoothed out or streamlined, but that's because they have to add some chunkiness for it because these are robots, whereas the Avas are actually just armor suits over organic bodies. So the parallels are there though. Pretty interesting looking models on the new series. And let's see. So I'm looking forward to that when it comes out. It should be coming out this month, I think. So that'll be interesting. And the other thing I've been interested in this month is this, and then of course some of the stuff that's coming out on Disney Plus later, which I guess I'll talk about afterwards. Matt, you probably heard about it too, about some of the stuff that's coming out on Disney Plus.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I already know what you're talking about.
Yeah, good. Next up is a new shader. Bring it in, Matt.
I was looking the other day and I saw that there was this leak about this shader that comes out. As you can see, it gives your guys a Taken aura to your character and got a nice glow there in the helmet area where your eyes would be. And this is I just noticed this today through my feeds, and I was like, wow, that's pretty great. So this
yeah, this is actually pretty awesome. I know that I've tried to recreate this using Super Black, the Super Black shader and a couple of the shaders. It's very difficult to recreate it, but this shader is also going to have, from what I read, and you can correct me, but this smoky effect that comes off of the black, just like it does for the Taken. So that's going to make it, for me, that's like the worth, whatever that shader's worth. Yeah, it's good.
That's just like a third dimension of this shader. So you don't only just have the color, you don't just have the glow, you also have sort of an animation coming off of it.
Yeah, which is cool because there are a few shaders in Destiny 2 that have animations built into the shader itself, but none of them have animations that actually come off the corpse. Like they might have like a little bit of an electric arc, but it all stays within the actual armor piece, like it's floating inside the armor, but it never actually like arcs off of your Guardian. This is promising to be pretty cool.
I'm very excited about this. I just hope it's not too difficult to acquire.
Right. Especially since I think like the way they're leading somehow I think like the way they're leading us is that we're gonna have a new subspec, and it's gonna be like Taken-ish. Like we have the darkness powers, right? We have two darkness suspects right now. We have Strand, and we have the Frost, right? And then we have like a completely weird off spec, which is the Prismatic, which is just a mishmash of everything. And then we have the three light ones, right? Stasis, yeah, stasis. That's one of the two darkness aspects, stasis instead of frozen. Yeah, stasis. But we have three light, two dark, and one prismatic. So I think they're going to balance it all out by making a third dark, and I think it's going to be Taken related. I mean, this is all conjecture. This is all theory on my part. I haven't really been keeping up with theory crafting and conjecture in the Destiny 2 community. I used to be hugely into it back when I had a job that let me, goof around and read stuff all the time while I was at work. But my current job does not let me do that. I'm just not able to do that at work. But because I'm just too busy. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it breaks out. We'll see.
The more I look at that, the more I like it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think it'll look cool on some other armor sets besides this stuff. But yeah.
Absolutely.
And then what's the next thing? This is the SD Gundam G Generation Eternal.
Yes, I saw this as a game that is coming up soon. You can pre-register for it. It has the SD Gundams that you can, as far as I know, you can play in this. Play the SDs, which are the smaller models of the SDs or the smaller models of the Gundams. And trailer I watched for it, it had so many different Gundams that I was very impressed with. Some that I had never even heard of. So I was very, very impressed with all the different SDs that they had to even choose from.
Yeah, I mean, just from this trailer, I can see they have some Zaku's. I can see they have a Barbados in there. They have the Strike, the Freedom. They have a whole bunch of different ones.
The Tall Geese is in there.
The Tall Geese is in there, yeah. It's all very cool. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to pre-register on this. So you can go ahead and pre-register on the App Store or the Google Play Store. It's available for pre-registration right now. I believe they'll give you a gift if you pre-register. So that'll be a fun thing for everyone who wants to join up from that.
Yes, so that definitely caught my eye, and because I like the SDs. I think they're cool. They have a good spot.
Yeah, they do for sure. And last week we talked about part 2 of a mobile fighter Gundam, G Gundam, which was an original series that came out a long time ago in the Gundam universe. This is one of the few series that you could actually jump into and enjoy without having any background in the Gundam universe whatsoever. You could just jump in and have fun with it because it's not set in the timeline of the Gundam universe, or what they call the Universal Century timeline. So this is it right here. This is G Mobile Fighter G Gundam, and these are the characters. So as you can see from the trailer and the poster art here, it's an old style of art, definitely like from the 80s and the 90s.
I was just gonna say 80s right there.
Yeah, but this is a great series. It's a fun series, and the second part of it's coming out soon, where it takes off right where this ends, and definitely worth watching. The other series that you can jump into the Gundam franchise with that are standalones and amazing are Gundam 00 or 00. That's a great series that you can just stand in, and you don't need to know anything about what's going on in the Gundam universe because it takes place in like an alternate timeline, so it's really great. And the other series you can jump in on is Iron-Blooded Orphans, but that one's a lot darker. That's a lot darker of a series.
But oh my goodness, what a story that will give you. That was amazing. Once I started watching that, you got me started in that one. Once you got me into that, I couldn't stop.
Yeah, it's a great series. And actually these days it's far more relevant, especially if you live in the US. All I have to say is when you watch that, just think about the Ukrainians. That's all I'm going to say. But it is definitely a great series. This was made long before any of this Ukrainian stuff. But it's a great message, and it kind of like makes you think a little bit. So that one's definitely a darker series. Very, and it's dark in the same way that like Game of Thrones is dark. So like if you guys have watched Game of Thrones, you know that like you should never really get attached to any character in Game of Thrones because bad things happen.
I didn't want to say nothing because I didn't want to ruin anything.
Well, no.
You know the moments I called you and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was so upset.
Yeah. Well, this is one of those series, the Iron-Blooded Orphans, that you should definitely not get too attached to anybody. Another Gundam series that you could jump into are Mobile Gundam Fighter and Mobile Gundam G Diver. Those are both very cool and fun, very shonen Gundam series where you have a clear protagonist and it's all about loyalty and friendship. It's cool. So if you like that kind of stuff, very Bleach-esque, very One Piece-esque. It's very fun, very light, can get emotional sometimes, but just like Naruto and Bleach, you have your moments where you're like, whoa, but it's cool. It's a cool, if you want to jump in there. The Universal Century Timeline Gundam series, which like Gundam Requiem is a part of. If you've seen that on Netflix,
If you haven't, do it.
Yeah, if you really haven't, if you're on Netflix, look it up, Gundam Requiem. But the Universal Century Timeline is by and large a very somber timeline. It has its moments of cool, like in lightheartedness, but not much. The whole thing is about war, really. It's all commentary about war. And when you think about the fact that it's coming out of a culture that, by their standards, they kind of have survived an end of days type event. A lot of their fiction, a lot of their stuff kind of centers around like war and themes of war. So it's a great series you should jump into. So that's that for that. And another Netflix series, I'm watching it on Netflix, but it's on Crunchyroll. You can watch it there as well. This
looks cool.
Yeah, and it's Dan the Dan. This is a really lighthearted anime, which has a lot of weird elements in it. Kind of like Fooly Cooly, for anyone who saw that in the 90s. FLCL on Toonami, Adult Swim. This is a lot like that, but still fun with an actual plot that you can follow. And it's pretty cohesive, and the art style is a lot of fun.
Pretty nuts looking. I have to watch this.
Yeah, it's a fun series. Definitely you should get into it if you can. And again, guys, I'm sorry. I have really bad allergies today. Oh, sorry. I know that I have allergies a lot, but I'm just like perpetually with allergies. So
the art style in this, it's fun looking.
It is. It's very fun looking, and there are times where the storyline can get completely crazy and nonsensical, but it's still fun. Still fun to go through. The main character has been possessed by a supernatural character, and this is what he looks like when he goes like Super Saiyan mode. The funny part is, you see him, he's really powerful, he's really fast and everything, but he's this persona of his is so lazy. It's so lazy. So one of the things it says when it comes out is oh, what a drag, now I have to do this. so he's always oh God, I just want a nap, So
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
and it looks so vicious.
Yeah, he is. He's super vicious. This whole mask motif with the grinning mouth, that's actually from Tokyo Ghoul. So it's a really cool takeoff on Tokyo Ghoul. Anyone who's seen Tokyo Ghoul, but this is great. Now Tokyo Ghoul is a dark series, super dark series. This is way more lighthearted. And
I've never seen Tokyo Ghoul, but I am familiar with that.
Oh, you definitely should. It is dark though. It's somber. It is somber. It's weird because it starts out thinking, oh, that's a cool little twist on the zombie thing, and then you're like, okay, this is gonna be a fun romp, and then it gets dark out of nowhere. You're like, whoa, okay. Another anime that's like that on Netflix, which I totally recommend, and I think it was made just for Netflix, is Engine. ENJIN.
Oh, that was good. You told me to watch that, and I did. That got dark.
That got dark real fast. Whoa.
First episode dark.
Yeah, and it just gets darker from there. And I highly recommend, if you are into dark, edgy, just dark, edgy movies, TV shows with a supernatural bent, definitely go check out NGen and check out everything we've talked about today. Because if that's what you're if that's what you're into, these recommendations are right for you. I'm a little bit
good storytelling there too.
It was amazing storytelling. It really was. I'm surprised it wasn't as popular as I was hoping it would be in the anime community. But I think a lot of it is because that was one of Netflix's first original anime. They came out with a lot of them since, but that was one of the first ones. And at the time, they weren't really known for producing anime. They were known more for taking anime that's already old and anime movies like Evangelion and stuff like that and putting it out there for people to watch. So they were just beginning to get known as a place to go to watch anime. Now anime is one of their biggest categories, and you can it's one of the reasons why people even subscribe to Netflix. So it's outside of documentaries, which I'm also a documentary nerd on Netflix, but there you go. So definitely recommend those animes for anyone who's interested. And the last thing I want to talk about is if you're from Gen X, this character should be known to you. Pretty much you should know who this character is. If you don't, I'm so sorry. I don't know where you were during the 80s.
Under a rock, maybe?
Yeah, pretty much. Does the mustache, the hat, and the eyes not do it for you? I don't know, man.
The mustachio.
Maybe it's me. I don't know.
Wow, you got that up there pretty good, buddy.
Yeah. But I saw this magazine at the grocery store. It's 40 years of Super Mario, which I didn't even know, but I guess it makes sense. 40 years of Super Mario, which makes me feel old. But
how much did you pay for that thing?
$15. This was $14.99, which I think you can see the price right there. Time magazine is expensive. I didn't know that Time magazine was that expensive, but I bought it. I couldn't not buy it. It was there, and I was like, wait, what? Oh, okay. I haven't even read the article on this yet, but it looks like they go all in on this. His friends and his foes, Donkey Kong's legacy, and why the movie works. Now, the movie they're talking about is the latest Mario Brothers movie, not the one that came out in the 80s. This one.
No. Definitely no on that.
Yeah. This is the Chris Pratt voiced Mario, which is great, with Jack Black doing Bowser and singing the Peaches song, which is amazing.
How does that song go?
Oh, I'm not gonna sing it, but I do have it on my playlist on my YouTube Music. It's on my playlist.
I think you should sing it.
No, I don't think so. That's not gonna happen. I also have the song from Madagascar 2, Moto Moto's Chunky. I love that song so much. You've never heard it? It's a great song. It's a great song. I like 'em big.
Oh, so you'll sing that one, but you won't sing Peaches. Okay. Would you forget the lyrics?
No. Anyway, if you haven't picked up this copy of Time magazine, there are so few things that come out these days that I think to myself, hey, that might be a collector's thing. This, I think, might be a collector's thing, because I know they mass print these things these days, but how many people actually buy the physical magazine? You know what I mean?
Hardly anybody anymore.
Right. So I bought it thinking most of these are going to wind up in a landfill somewhere, or thrown out, So I figure I'm just going to take this, I'm going to frame it and put it up there on my wall, because
that's a great idea. If anything, it's intrinsic.
It is. And it's a defining moment for people in our generation, and for Gen X. For every generation that came after ours, Gen X, gaming has just been a thing. That's just something we do, right? But
absolutely.
And now with the current generation, Generation Z and Generation Alpha, okay, it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Gaming is no longer something that parents even talk about. It's just this is what kids do. They play video games. When we were coming up, gaming was not ubiquitous. We were spending so much time on our Nintendos, and that's despite the fact that they would break down and you'd have to blow on the cartridges and whatever.
Oh yeah, there was a whole thing you had to do to make those dang things work.
Yes.
But yeah.
So despite that, we spent so much time on those Nintendos that there was like a satanic panic moment about it with our parents. Okay, like every denomination of Christianity had like a collective freak out. Like, this is taking up our children's time and they're learning violence and blah 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 blah, blah. And it was just bad.
Oh yeah, I remember that whole thing. Oh, that's how they're learning how to shoot guns. No.
Yeah.
That's how they're learning how to be violent. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really?
No. And that was that. I mean, there were other things that there was satanic panic over in the 80s and made our parents look really crazy, like Furbies and Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons was a big one.
Oh my gosh, that was the worst one.
That was, yeah, Dungeons and Dragons was a big one. Like, Dungeons and Dragons was like your parents would catch you doing that, and that would be bad. That would be bad. Like, you,
we
call
used
a
to
priest.
do that, but love you, Mom, but they ended up making us get rid of it.
Yeah. My mom caught me with a D&D third edition. I think it was second edition rulebook. And my mom, holy crap, that was bad, bro. Like, she was like yelling, and she was talking about taking me to church more often. It was bad. I had to throw it out. So, yeah, it was really bad. And
I only had the intro, the beginner's guide or whatever the crap that was.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, she threw that out, and I had a whole collection of books on the Dragon Riders of Pern, and which was like a novel series, but the artist was like huge into world building, and people were building tabletop games around this world. And so there was like whole books on just the dragons of Pern and the dragon riders of Pern, and I was so interested in this world.
I remember those.
Those were all thrown away. And I came home with a Judas Priest. Remember that band called Judas Priest?
Uh-huh.
I came home with a Judas Priest leather wristband once. That was a whole conversation.
That was a bad choice, huh?
That was a really bad choice. I didn't even tell her that I had an Iron Maiden t-shirt. That was just with oh my god, no. With Eddie on it, No, that would be bad. That would be bad. So, yeah, I mean, the 80s and 90s were a hard time to be a kid. Because not only I grew up in Miami, so not only did I have gang violence and drugs and AIDS and and crack, but we also had satanic panic and overly like religious parents at the time. I don't even know what modern kids go through, because every modern kid I see is just given a device and told go away. Whereas we were like taking devices away and told go out and play. So the other thing I wanted to bring up was a Disney Plus show that is going to be released here on the 4th, it looks like, right? I think it's on the 4th.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, yep.
Daredevil Born Again.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay, now, it's been a few years. When did Daredevil come out on Netflix? That came out a long time ago, right?
Oh, boy.
Okay, so 3 seasons. So, quick Google search. Turns up that the Marvel series Daredevil was released on Netflix in 2015. There was 3 seasons of it. 2015, 2016, 17, and 18. There was 3 seasons. The best seasons were seasons 1 and 2.
1 and 2 by far.
Season 3 was kind of like, you watched it just because of loyalty. Really, honestly, that's it.
I didn't. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched season 1, loved it. Season 2, absolutely loved it. Season 3, I didn't make it all the way through.
Yeah, a lot of people had that reaction to season 3. It was kind of bad. Disney's bringing back the series. They're not restarting the series. It's a continuation with like a season 4 that starts on the 4th. And it's looking pretty damn good, okay?
That is super exciting, because that was one of my all-time favorite shows. When I first started watching it, I couldn't believe how good the show was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is awesome.
For finding the time.
Dude. I remember there was a hallway scene that they only they filmed it only one time.
Yeah, for season 1, yes.
Yeah, yes, you know exactly which one I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. So, like, this is the trailer.
You know I met him.
Yeah, I know you did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when I saw that he was the Kingpin, just saw that he was the Kingpin, I was like, oh, that's a great casting choice. But then when I actually saw him act as the Kingpin, I was like, there is no other Kingpin. No one else can ever possibly play the Kingpin. This guy is the Kingpin, period.
Nobody else can play Kingpin, and nobody else can play Punisher.
No, yeah, no one else can play Punisher, because this guy really does do a great Punisher, like the best Punisher ever. Okay, and there have been like 3 or 4 different Punishers.
And he's like one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, too.
Yeah, he's super nice. He's super thankful for all the fans. He really is. The name of the actor that plays Kingpin, by the way, is Vincent D'Onofrio. Which you probably know him from Law and Order. That's where I met him, or first ran into like Vincent D'Onofrio in Law and Order. There were a couple other movies that he was in, but I never saw them. Actually, I didn't even know that much about him as an actor before that. Oh, this is the trailer for the new Thunderbolts movie that just came up on my autoplay.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I have mixed feelings about this movie, but I had mixed feelings about the new Captain America movie, and I went based off your recommendation. I'm glad I did. It was a great movie.
Yes, I went into that movie with I didn't know what to think, but I also did that same thing with Avatar. I went into that movie without any expectations, and I left. And I wanted to go right back in and watch it again. So I went in to watch Captain America, and I had no expectations, and I left, and I was super happy I saw it. It was great.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It really is. And so I'm thinking I'm gonna give this one a shot. I've been playing the new Diablo season in Diablo 4. Vessel of Hatred.
Okay. All right.
This is not Diablo Immortal, which I know that Matt had a hard time playing. This is actually Diablo 4. The new season of it, a Vessel of Hatred, I've been playing and enjoying a lot. They introduced a new class called the Spirit. I think it's Spirit Warrior or something like that. But basically, they have like a lot of like Aztec or Mayan theming with like jaguars and spirits and stuff like that, and spirit guardians. But it's a martial artist, kind of like the monk.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
Oh.
I knew that whenever I played whenever I played Diablo, that usually I would go and start as the monk, because that was sort of my go-to.
Yeah, so that class is like a monk, only with more like animal theming. So like you can summon the spirit of a jaguar, or the spirit of a bear, or the spirit of a centipede. Cool stuff. And for anybody who's looking right now, you can see Bailey's up on my lap. She's telling me that it's time to go so that she can go outside and then have her dinner. But
she's so subtle.
She's super subtle. She's also very upset with me because we took her today to go get groomed at PetSmart. Not happy with me, she is.
Not her favorite moment?
No. No, it's not. She's not happy with me. But that's okay. So I think with that, we're going to call it a day. And we'll see you guys next week. My name is Rob.
And I'm Matt. You guys have a good week.
Yeah, you guys have a great week. And thanks for joining us one more time. And again, hit the like and subscribe button to subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified whenever we have a new content. Also, hit us up on Instagram and Blue Sky and TikTok. So I post random stuff all the time. So have a great day, guys, and have a great week. And thanks for following.